This is Chris McDaniels. Like, subscribe to Team W Wrestling on YouTube, subscribe to my other channel, Word of Chris, and subscribe to this channel, Chris McDaniels. And follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and both my TikToks. It'll all be down there in the description box. And I'm here to do my WWE NXT December 10th, 2024 reviews. So here we go discussing about tonight's episode of NXT. Now we kick off the show with the first segment of the night where we see the Women's Iron Survivor Challenge winner, Giulia. She comes out there. She is now the #1 contender for the WWE NXT Women's Championship. Now, she'll be facing Roxanne Perez for the title at New Year's Eve on January 7th. That'll be the first episode of NXT of the year then. And yeah, she comes out there and she starts talking about how she won the match this past Saturday at Deadline and how she's going to go to New Year's Eve and become the new NXT Women's Champion. But then all of a sudden she gets interrupted by the NXT Women's Champion, Roxanne Perez. Roxanne finally returns after, being gone for like a month now, because she was like on vacation. But yeah, she comes out there and she says that Giulia is not going to be winning the NXT Women's Championship because, yeah, she done good. She said that real MVP was like Ruka, and then she was talking about how she pretty much came close by winning. Same for Ren Sinclair, even though she was in the penalty box longer than everybody else. And then she was talking about how Stephanie Vaquer and Zarya could have won as well, but they ran out of time. But, you know, she says that Giulia won. But she says that she already beat Giulia before and she'll do it again at New Year's Eve and still remain as the NXT Women's Champion, like how she's been for a year now. So yeah, that's what Roxanne Perez was saying. And then all of a sudden we see Cora and Jade come up because Roxanne was telling Giulia that she ain't gonna make it to New Year's Eve. And then Giulia was actually ready to fight Roxanne, but then Cora and Jade comes up with a baseball bat in her hands, and then all of a sudden they said that Stephanie Vaquer is not going to come out there and save Giulia because she was laid out backstage. And then we see the footage on the big screen that a bunch of referees and stuff is checking on Stephanie Vaquer because Cora Jade done attacked her backstage with a baseball bat. And then all of a sudden they start attacking Giulia. Giulia was trying to fight back, but then she gets hit in the stomach with the baseball bat by Cora Jade and she got laid out. So yeah, Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez is standing tall over Giulia tonight on NXT. That's what happened there. Pretty good segment. But then, after that segment happened, we see another segment backstage where we see Ethan Page backstage with a bunch of NXT superstars in the locker room and all that stuff. And then all of a sudden, the NXT North American champion, Tony D'Angelo, comes up and he actually talks to Ethan Page, telling him, hey, do you want NXT North America Championship match and all that stuff? And Ethan Page pretty much declines it, saying that's a step down from the NXT Championship. He's more worried about getting the NXT Championship, and he says that he don't know the path to get there anymore. So yeah, that's what Ethan Page was talking about there. And then Tony D'Angelo was like, okay, you think it's a step down? Fine, you ain't going to get it. And then all of a sudden he asked everybody else who wants it. Everybody else was like ready for a title match, but then Ethan Page stops everybody and he says, you know what, please give me this match, because if I can't beat you and you're the NXT North America champion, that means I don't deserve to be here. So yeah, that's what Ethan Page was saying there. And yeah, the match is now made official. Tony D'Angelo versus Ethan Page later on tonight for the NXT North America Championship. But yeah, up next will be the first match of the night. It'll be Wesley versus Javon Evans one-on-one up next on NXT. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Till then. I did forget to mention one more thing, that Kelani Jordan did come out there to save Giulia after the end of the beatdown. Forget to mention that. So yeah, that's what happened there. And later on tonight they got a tag team match. Giulia and Kelani Jordan versus Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade in the tag team match later on tonight on NXT. I forgot to mention that. I don't know how I forgot about it, but yeah, Kelani Jordan did get involved in that segment. But yeah, see you guys later. Till then. So, the next thing to happen on NXT, we get to the first match of the night. Now, before we talk about that match, we got to talk about a segment that happened backstage. So, yeah, we see the NXT Heritage Cup champion, Charlie Dempsey, talking to Ren Sinclair backstage, and then Miles Bourne and Tavion Heights comes up, no quarter catch crew. And he was talking about how proud he is of all three of them, and he was talking about how Ren Sinclair almost won the Women's Iron Survivor Challenge. So yeah, that's what he was talking about there. But then all of a sudden, OTM comes up, and OTM was talking about how, how no quarter catch crew lost their chance for the NXT Tag Team Championships and all that, and then Roxanne, and then Jada Parker comes up, and she was talking about how, Ren Sinclair needs to thank her because, how she ducked the back fist from Lola Vice last week and all that when Ren fell for the win and all that. So yeah, that's what she was talking about there. And then Ren Sinclair was talking about like, yeah, if you didn't duck it, you would have got knocked out. So that's what happened there, and then they all start arguing. So yeah, pretty funny stuff right there. But yeah, then we get to the next match of the night. It was Wes Lee versus Javon Evans one-on-one. This is the first match of the night. In this match, it was a pretty good one. Both of these guys beating the hell out of each other, coming up near falls a lot of times in this match. At one point, there was a spot where we see Javon get on the second rope, and then Wes kicking his feet from underneath them, and he goes for the pin, putting his feet onto the second rope and stuff to get leverage and all that. Same thing that he did at Deadline, but he only got a 2 count out of it because the referee seen his feet on the ropes. So that's what happened there. But yeah, it was just going back and forth and everything between these two guys. At one point, Wes did hit the cardiac kick onto Javon. He pinned him. 1, 2, Javon barely kicks out at 2. And like I said, it was just going back and forth between these two guys. Javon Evans hit a super kick on the Wes, and then Wes kept on trying to stop Javon from hitting his finisher, and then Javon hit him in the face a couple of times, and then he finally hits his finisher move where he jumps off the top turnbuckle with a spinning splash onto Wes Lee, and then he pinned him for the 1, 2, 3. So yeah, Javon Evans defeated Wes Lee tonight in a one-on-one match. That's what happened. It was a pretty good match. If you have yet, go check it out. For that match, I'll give it 3.5 stars. That's why I'll give it. Great match between those two guys right there. But yeah, that's what happened there. And then after that, we see the NXT Tag Team Champions, Axiom and Nathan Frazer, talking backstage. Axiom was talking about how proud he is of Nathan Frazer, and he says that Nathan Frazer should have won the Iron Survivor Challenge. And Frazer was talking about, yeah, I didn't know that Obafemi was going to be in there. And, Axiom was not happy about that. And then Frazer was like, look, you held the tag team together at Deadline and all that, and you was the one that kept the tag team titles around our waist. And then Frazer was talking about how he's going to go talk to Ava backstage and all that stuff later on. So, yeah, that's what he was talking about there, to do something for the team. But, yeah, a lot of stuff happening later on tonight on NXT. We're going to be seeing Tony D'Angelo defending his NXT Heritage Cup Championship up against Ethan Page later on tonight. And we're going to be seeing Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade versus Kelani Jordan and Giulia in a tag team match later on tonight on NXT as well. So, yeah, I'll see you guys later. Till then. So, the next thing to happen on NXT, we get to the next match of the night. But before we talk about that match, we got to talk about a couple of things that happened backstage. So, yeah, at one point we actually did see like a promo from Josh Briggs. Well, he was explaining that he was not looking for a tag team partner, but now he found himself in a tag team with Yasuki Inamura in a tag team now. And he was talking about how he went down to Japan and all that stuff and, faced him and learned a lot of stuff from him. And then Yasuki was talking about how Josh Briggs reminds him so much of Stan Hansen. So yeah, that's what he was talking about there, and that's how they formed the tag team pretty much. But then we get to another segment where we see Giulia and Kelani Jordan walking out the doctor's office, and they was talking about how Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade's going to get was coming to them tonight after what they did to Stephanie Vaquer backstage. So yeah, that's what he was talking about there. But then we get to the next segment after that, where we see Sol Ruka and Zarya talking backstage, and they was talking about the Women's Iron Survivor Challenge and all that stuff. And then we see Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson coming up, talking about how, like, why you going to respect her after she was trying to take her head off, telling Sol Ruka that Zarya was going to do that and all that stuff. And they was talking about how neither one of them pretty much was going to win and call him some names. So yeah, that's what happened there. But yeah, then after that we get to the next match of the night. It was Hank Walker and Tank Ledger versus Tyreek Egret and Tyson DuPont in a tag team match. In this match, it was decent for the most part. Both of these teams beating the hell out of each other. Hank hitting a sidewalk slam onto Tyson, actually, and then Hank and Tank hit their tag team finish move on to Tyson DuPont after they take out Tyreek, where they pretty much lift them up on their shoulders, and then I think it was Tank that comes running up, pretty much hitting Tyreek into a power slam onto him, and then Tank pins Tyson for the 3 count. So yeah, Hank Walker and Tank Ledger defeated Tyson DuPont and Tyreek Igra tonight in a tag team match. But then after the match ended, Hank and Tank was trying to shake Tyreek and Tyson's hands. Tyson shakes their hands, but Tyreek was like, nah, screw that, and then he walks out. So yeah, that's what happened there. But yeah, for that tag team match, I'll give it 2 stars as well. It was alright. But yeah, up next, we're going to be seeing Obafemi addressing the NXT universe up next on NXT. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Until then. So the next thing to happen on NXT, we get to the next segment of the night where we see the men's Iron Survivor Challenge winner, Obafemi. He comes out there, and yeah, he comes out there talking about New Year's Evil because he'll be facing Trick Williams for the NXT Championship since he is the #1 contender for the championship. So yeah, Obafemi was talking about how he won the men's Iron Survivor Challenge this past Saturday at Deadline, and he was talking about how he's going to take his rightful throne and, you know, lead NXT by becoming the new NXT champion after defeating Trick Williams at New Year's Evil. So yeah, that's what he was talking about there, and then all of a sudden he gets interrupted by Trick Williams. Trick Williams comes out there because Obafemi calls him out, so yeah, the NXT champion comes out there, and then, you know, while they're both talking, all of a sudden Eddie Thorpe comes out there because Eddie Thorpe starts blaming Obafemi that Obafemi was the one that started accusing him by saying that Obafemi was the one that attacked him backstage and took his spot in the men's Iron Survivor Challenge. So yeah, that's what he was talking about there. And Obafemi was like, look, don't be throwing your false accusations at me and all that, because did you see me attack you? And Eddie Thorpe was like, no, I didn't see you, but I know that, you know, one man got that much power in a hit, and that was from you. And, you know, Obafemi pretty much says that he wasn't the one that attacked Eddie Thorpe backstage. But then he turns his attention to Trick Williams, and he was talking about how, you know, that Trick Williams has been NXT champion for this long because he says that, you know, he let Trick Williams, you know, run NXT and be NXT champion. He let the that Trick era run its course. So yeah, that's what he was talking about there. He says that he's going to end it all at New Year's Evil. So yeah, it was a pretty good promo from Obafemi, and then Trick Williams talking about how none of that is going to happen pretty much, and that he'll see him at New Year's Evil. And then Obafemi walks out and all that stuff, and then Eddie Thorpe looks at Trick Williams and he starts saying that, you know, I respect you so much, and you talking about how you lead NXT and all that stuff, but yet you didn't really say a single word to Obafemi after attacking me backstage. So yeah, that's what Eddie Thorpe was saying. And then Trick just punches the hell out of Eddie Thorpe, and then he says that, you know what, if you want an NXT championship match, fine, you got it. And then that's what he says, and he walks out. So yeah, Trick Williams, not too happy. But yeah, pretty good segment right there. I really liked it. It was a good promo from Obafemi and Trick Williams right there. It's pretty good with Eddie Thorpe coming up as well. But yeah, then after that segment, we see Fatal Influence talking backstage, and then Jasmine Nix is pretty much all focused in the tag team match up next. And then after that, we see Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley walking backstage because they're going to be going after that tag team match up next. And then Izzy Dame comes up, you know, saying that Gigi Dolan ain't going to beat her next time and all that stuff. And then all of a sudden, we see Shawn Spears and Brooks Jensen and Nico Vance come up, and Shawn Spears pretty much looks like he's going to try to get Izzy Dame into his group, it seems like. So that's what happened there, and then she just walked off calling the creep and all that. So yeah, that's what happened there. But up next, it'll be Fatal Influence versus Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley up next in the tag team match. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Till then. So the next thing to happen on NXT, we get to the next match of the night. It was Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley versus JC Jane and Jasmine Nix with the NXT Women's North America Champion Fallon Henley at ringside. Fatal Influence in the tag team match. So yeah, we get to this tag team match, Now, everybody was beating the hell out of each other in this match. It was pretty good for the most part. Gigi Dolan got taken out with Jasmine Nix and everything, and then they only left pretty much JC Jane and Tatum Paxley. Tatum Paxley takes out um, Casey Jane, and then she climbs up the top turnbuckle, and then Jasmine Nix pretty much distracted the referee, and then that's when Val Hanley gets on the ring apron, pushing Tatum Paxley off the top turnbuckle back into the ring, and then that's when JC Jane hits the discus forearm onto her, pinning her for the 3 count. So yeah, Fatal Influence defeated Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley tonight in the tag team match. And then after the match ended, we see Fatal Influence attacking Tatum Paxley after the match, beating her down and everything. Gigi Dolan's trying to help her out, and she's getting beat down as well. But before the match happened, Gigi Dolan was talking to Tatum Paxley about having a third person and all that to help him out against Fatal Influence, and that third person has came out and helped him, and it was Shotzi. Shotzi returns tonight at NXT. She comes out there going at it with Fatal Influence, helping out Tatum Paxley and Gigi Dolan. They take him out, knocking him out of the ring, and then Shotzi hits a suicide dive crossbody onto Fatal Influence, taking all 3 of them out outside of the ring, and she gets in the ring celebrating with Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley. So yeah, that's what happened there. Great to see Shotzi back. So yeah, for the match and what happened after the match, I'll give it all 2.5 stars. That's why I'll give it. But yeah, it was pretty cool that Shotzi has returned now. But yeah, then after that we see Axiom and Nathan Fraser talking backstage, and Axiom was talking about how, with how he talked to Ava, talking about how he got some match against Obafemi next week because he wants to defend Nathan Fraser and all that stuff and all that. So yeah, that's what he was talking about there. And then Fraser was not happy about that. He says, "When's that?" And he says, "Next week." And then Fraser looks at him and he says, "Well, I got a tag team title match next week with us two defending the tag team titles." And Axiom says, "When's that?" And Fraser says, "Next week." And Axiom's not too happy because now he got 2 matches next week on NXT. But yeah, that's what happened there. But up next, it'll be Tony D'Angelo versus Ethan Page 1-on-1 for the NXT North American Championship up next on NXT. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Till then. So the next thing to happen on NXT, we get to the next match of the night. It was the NXT North American Champion Tony D'Angelo with Channing Stacks Lorenzo, Luca Crucifino, and Adriano Rizzo, the D'Angelo family at ringside, versus Ethan Page 1-on-1 for the NXT North American Championship. So yeah, we get to this match, and this match, it was a pretty good one. Both of these guys beating the hell out of each other now, obviously. All ego Ethan Page comes out there, and he's not in the best mindset because he still lost for the NXT Championship, and yeah, we won't have to talk about that. So yeah, both of these guys beating the hell out of each other. Ethan Page actually almost came up at one point, almost picking up the win after he had a twist of fate onto Tony D'Angelo. He pinned him 1, 2. D'Angelo barely kicked out at 2, and then we see Ethan Page trying to pick up Tony D'Angelo to try to hit the Ego's Edge onto him, but D'Angelo fought out of that, and then he picks him up, hitting the Spinebuster onto Ethan Page, and then he pins him for the 1, 2, 3. So yeah, Tony D'Angelo defeated Ethan Page tonight in a 1-on-1 match, and Tony D'Angelo retains the NXT North American Championship. He was celebrating, and we see Ethan Page looking upset. So yeah, that's what happened there. Pretty interesting to see what happens with Ethan Page after that. But yeah, for the match and all that stuff, I'll give it 3 stars. That's why I'll give it. It was a pretty decent match. But yeah, then after that match, we see Lexis King talking to Ryan Leaf backstage. Yeah, he was talking to him. They was talking about positivity and all that stuff. And by the way, I forgot to mention that Lexis King was talking to the NXT Heritage Cup champion Charlie Dempsey earlier because he wanted a Heritage Cup championship match against Charlie Dempsey, and Charlie Dempsey was talking about how he was going to think about it. Well, Charlie Dempsey came back, and then he tells Lexis King that he got his match in 2 weeks, and then he says that all he wants to do is have a workout with him. So yeah, that's what's going to be happening there. Interested to see what happens next. But yeah, up next it'll be the main event. It'll be the NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade versus Giulia and Kelani Jordan up next in a tag team match on NXT. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Till then. So the next thing to happen on NXT. We get to the main event, but before we talk about the main event, we got to talk about a few things that happened before that. So yeah, we see Ethan Page walking in the parking lot, and he was pretty much telling everybody that, you know, that he just lost and everything, and he don't know what to do because now he done lost to the NXT North America champion. He don't know how to get to the NXT championship. So yeah, that's what he was talking about there. But then after that, we get to the main event. It was the NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade versus Giulia and Kelani Jordan in a tag team match in the main event of tonight's episode of NXT. Now, Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez done made their entrance, and then Giulia was making her entrance, but then Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade got out the ring and started going after Giulia, brawling with her on the top of the stage, and then Kelani Jordan comes out, and the match wasn't getting started. Kelani Jordan takes them both out outside of the ring, and then they manage to finally get the match started. So yeah, the match finally starts, and both of these teams are beating the hell out of each other multiple times, coming up near falls a lot of times. Like at one point, we see Kelani Jordan jump up with a nice frog splash onto Roxanne, only getting a 2 count because of Cora Jade breaking up the pin and all that. And yeah, it was just going back and forth and everything. And eventually, Roxanne tags in Cora Jade, and Cora Jade's going at it with Kelani Jordan inside the ring. And then we see Giulia and Roxanne going at it outside the ring. Roxanne actually got Kelani Jordan out of the ring, hitting pop rocks onto her outside the ring while the referee was distracted by Cora Jade inside the ring. And then Roxanne throws Kelani Jordan back into the ring. And then we see Giulia jumping off the ring apron with a missile drop kick onto Roxanne. Then both of them starts brawling and stuff, going to the backstage area. And then that's when Cora Jade takes advantage, picking up Kelani Jordan, hitting the double hook darn DDT onto Kelani Jordan, pinning her for the 1, 2, 3. So yeah, Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez defeated Kelani Jordan and Giulia tonight in a tag team match. That's what happened there. Pretty good tag team match. But then after the tag team match ended, Stephanie Vaquer's theme song starts playing, and then she comes up from behind, attacking Cora Jade, taking her out, knocking her out of the ring. She grabs the baseball bat and snaps it across her knee and starts going after Cora Jade. So yeah, that's what happened there for the main event. What happened after the main event, I'll give it all 3.5 stars. That's why I'll give that. But then after all that stuff, we see Eddie Thorpe backstage with the NXT general manager Ava backstage. Ava got a contract for Eddie Thorpe because it looks like he's signing it to have a match against Trick Williams next week on NXT for the NXT Championship. So yeah, he signs the contract, and then Ava looks at Eddie Thorpe saying, look, I'm still looking into who attacked you backstage and all that from last week. And Eddie Thorpe was like, you don't got to do that because I already know who attacked me. And Ava was confused, and Eddie Thorpe was like, I was the one that attacked me. And he says that now he didn't have to go through hell for 25 minutes to get an NXT Championship match because he got way more easier now. So yeah, that's what happened there. Eddie Thorpe playing some good ass mind games right there. But yeah, that's what happened there. Ava was not too happy about that. But yeah, next week on NXT, Eddie Thorpe will be facing Trick Williams for the NXT Championship. But yeah, that's what happened there. Pretty good stuff for tonight's NXT. I'll give it 9 stars. That's what I'll give it. It was a pretty good show for match of the night. I gotta say it was Wesley versus Javon Evans. That was a great match. But yeah, that's been my NXT December 10th, 2024 reviews. Like, subscribe to TNW Wrestling on YouTube. Subscribe to my other channel, Word of Chris, and subscribe to this channel, Chris McDaniels. And follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and both of my TikToks. I'll be down there in the description box. And I'll see you guys later for tomorrow night's AEW Dynamite reviews. See you guys later. Till then.